Good evening. I'm going to tell another story tonight. My hair is a little wet because I went from my midnight swim. I was working really hard today getting stuff done and have to do my story. Many of you who don't know me, I welcome you to my channel. I'm telling the story of my life and whatever happens in my life. And so I had a story I was going to tell, and so I said, well, maybe I better write down some talking points for my next story. So I'm going to talk about my next story because my grandmother has been on my mind, my father's mother. Okay. I'm jealous of the people who have memory because my memories are so bad. I loved my grandmother so much, and why I don't have so many memories, it's amazing. But one memory that really affected me was when we were in Rockport. And I was sitting on the bed, combing her hair. She had long hair, like not longer than mine, but thin like mine, but it was black. Mine's brown. And I was braiding her hair. And I went, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to have long hair, and my grandchildren are going to braid my hair. Just our little dreams, I guess, that never come true. I know my grandmother was with me most of my childhood, but I remember her sitting on the bed. I don't know if I told this. Yeah, I told the story that when Susie was going to kill us. I remember that one very vividly. But I like to think about the combing her hair. I remember one time she came to see me when we lived on Kenilworth. I don't know how old I was, but she didn't stay long. And I was very disappointed with that because I wanted to spend more time with her. And let's see. When I was... doesn't make sense in my memory. It has to make sense. Because I was in Dilley, Texas. My grandmother says the only thing people do in this town is just dilly around. But probably I just turned 12. Or I was almost 12. I can't remember exactly. But I ran away from home. My grandmother was in Port Lavaca. Yeah, she wasn't in Dilley with me. She was in Port Lavaca. And I ran away from home so I could be with my grandma. And I got a really good spanking for that. But when I was a little girl, she used to tell us stories when we lived in Port Aransas. And she would tell us about the man under the bed who's going to grab your hands and your foot, or if you just let it hang out the bed, he's going to get it and he's going to pull you into the bed and you're going to be gone forever. You know, still today, if my hand or my foot falls off the bed, I quickly bring it back into the bed because I don't want that man under my bed to get my foot. And then there was another story she told. It was about the man who was sitting on the park bench. And he turned to stone. And he's still there. Now, how does anybody turn to stone? Could that even be true? I wondered. because I didn't sit on park benches for a long time. But it is true. People do turn to stone. It is called stiff skin syndrome. It causes a person's skin to harden and thicken across their entire body. It makes it hard to move, and it affects mostly the shoulders, the elbows, any of the major joints. And as you're turning to stone, your body starts getting in a bent position. And there's no cure for this. And it gets progressively worse. And, for the longest, I was afraid that I was going to turn to stone. My grandma must have told those stories really well for me to remember that. Yeah, that's all my notes say is there's no cure. And I believe I do not have an essential oil for that. Got essential oil for joint pains, muscle pains, but there's not an oil if you're turning to stone. I hope this never happens to you or anybody you know or anybody at all. My grandmother, she died in the beginning of 1963, so that made me 12 years old. So, how the story works, that it gets everybody confused, I'm sure, that when we first moved to Boulder, Colorado, my mother and stepfather were having an argument, and I was sent to my father. I was not happy, so my memo got me back to Colorado. And after I got back to Colorado, that's when my grandmother died in a fire. I don't know how the fire started. I heard a horrible story, and I don't even want to believe it. And I was kind of believing it until I read on the internet that she died in Port Lavaca. If she had died in the Austin area, the story would be very believable that one of my half-siblings told me. They told me that a guy burned down the house because one of the girls said no. I don't think that's believable. Sad, but I don't think it's believable. So she died in 1963. I'm checking my notes. I'm sorry. As y'all know, I've told you, and I'll tell you again, I got a bad memory, and that's, I want to tell my children my history. And if you're listening and you know some of my history that I don't know, please put it in the comments. Sometimes I don't get the comments up just in time, but I usually try to do everything lickety-split. Okay. Now, after my grandmother died, she never left me behind because her spirit was very strong and I was very troubled. And then when I turned 25, I wanted to die. I wanted to commit suicide because I did not want to live past the age of 25. Little Nathan catching my attention. And my life changed at 25. And then I no longer wanted to kill myself. But my plan was, if I made it to the age of 25, I wasn't going to continue in this world any longer because it just wasn't a good place to be. Then my grandmother, she left me for a long time. As far as I can remember, because after that, I my life was I was busy going to school, learning to read, learning to write. Um, I got busy with my children. My whole life just really picked up. I looked out the window one day and I saw the trees and the flowers and stuff, and I saw the red ants outside my window building their little colony, and life got good. And I decided I was going back to school. It took me 1 year to learn how to read and write, and then I went straight into a major university and got a BS degree in home economics in 3.5 years. I did good too. I had a pretty good grade point average too. So that was nice. Okay. So I'm really living the kind of the good life. And then I moved to Oklahoma, and John David dies. I'm really upset because I need to be with my sister Linda in her time of need, but I haven't got any money at all to go on the trip. And then I looked to the foot of the bed. There is my father. There is John David. And there is my grandmother. And they said, yes, you are going to New Orleans. And I did. When we got to New Orleans and we did the funeral, John David's sister, Brenda Ann, sang a song. So if I can think of a song that goes with my videos, I sing. I like to sing. You can turn it off if you don't like. I can't carry a note. But I never said I could sing. I just says I want to sing. So here is the song. Let me get a little drink so my throat don't be dry. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove, when trouble surrounds us, when evils come, the body grows weak, the spirit grows numb. When these things beset us, he doesn't forget us. He sends down his love on the wings of a dove. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove. When Noah had drifted many days on the sea, he searched for land in various ways. Troubles he had some, but wasn't forgotten. He sent down his love on the wings of a dove. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove, on the wings of a dove. Well, that's all I got for you tonight. I shared my memory. I shared the memory song. And give me a thumbs up, like me, share me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my video. And remember, I am a wellness advocate for doTERRA, and you'll find my link below. And I say, good night. I love you. Sweet dreams. Bye.